Hi everyone, my name is Shun Yanagishita and I'm the University Relations Manager for SIT Study Abroad. SIT stands for the School for International Training, and we're actually a graduate institute based in Brattleboro, Vermont, but we run undergraduate study abroad programs. I'm based in Eugene, Oregon, and I get to work with our schools and students in the Western region, and that's why I'm here talking to all of our UC students who might be interested in going on an SIT program. So before I change the slide, I just want to note our website, studyabroad.sit.edu, and then our slogan, not your ordinary study abroad. So why is it not your ordinary study abroad? Why SIT? Why this versus some of the other programs that are out there? Well, we're known for our programs being very experiential in nature and having a field-based approach. What does that mean? Basically, what that means is that you're learning in the field, you're learning from local experts and practitioners, you're having sort of a real-life experience, learning by doing. So meaning it could be that you're going to a refugee clinic in Jordan to learn about health issues, to studying a type of species of a frog in the Amazon jungles in Ecuador, to sitting in the United Nations Library, listening in on a lecture. So that's kind of what you would experience on an SIT program. You will be taking some courses at the program center, but more often than not, you're really more out there in the field, getting your hands and feet dirty, or really living the lives of you in person, or a doctor in the field, or a scientist in the jungle. We also focus on critical global issues at SIT. We've identified 7 critical global issues that we feel are really important in this day and age, and so I'll touch upon those here in the next few slides. We also go to more non-traditional destinations such as Rwanda, Mongolia, Indonesia, and places even in Europe that might be a little bit more known but different, like Serbia, Bosnia, and Kosovo. So a little bit more off the beaten path and unique offerings for sure. We also offer undergraduate research opportunities and internships as a part of our programming in our semester program. So taking everything you've learned in the first part of the semester and putting it into an applied project at the end, again, hands-on, very field-based kinds of experiences. We're also known for our homestay accommodations. That's our main type of accommodation at SIT Study Abroad. Back in the day, in the 60s, we were the original Peace Corps training center, and so cultural immersion is really important for us at SIT. Not only are you thematically immersed on an SIT program, but you're also culturally immersed by living in a homestay family and really digging deep into the community, engaging with the locals, and learning the language and cultural norms from your homestay families. And then the last bullet point here ties into the first bullet point of learning from local experts. And so the networking opportunities on an SIT program are endless. The connections you make last a lifetime. So just a quick overview of the locations where we go to. Currently, we now have programs on every continent, since we do have a program based in Argentina that now goes to Antarctica, learning about the effects of climate change and how people is a factor in that process. So earlier I talked about the 7 critical global issues. These are the 7 that we've identified. One thing I just always like to note is that all of our programs are very interdisciplinary in nature. So we look at all aspects, from the social to the political to the environmental. And so sometimes students might see multiple programs within a particular critical global issue, or multiple programs within multiple critical global issues because of the interdisciplinary nature. And so I would encourage all of our students to look through the entire list of our programs before sort of honing in on one or a couple that you might actually be interested in. These are some of the core program elements. I'm not going to go too much in depth because I have limited time today, but intensive immersion, that encompasses homestays, interactions with local experts and practitioners. Even the orientation is an intensive period where you're learning everything about the program, the itinerary, getting to know people in the community, to a lot of field exercises. Since I said we're a field-based program, a lot of going to and from a place or then another location, and then interdisciplinary seminars. You have lectures from various organizations and experts to we're all about discussions and talking and reflecting on our experiences and what you've learned from the previous day to last week to the current situation, and looking at case studies. And then sort of ending in this culminating project, which is an applied project, whether it's an independent research paper or perhaps an internship where you're writing a paper alongside that experience. So taking everything you've learned from your field research class to the ethics piece to synthesizing everything that you've learned and putting it into an end product. So this is just a quick glance at the 15-week semester model. 1 week, the first week, you're in country is where you're doing an intensive orientation. The next 9 weeks or so, you're doing your coursework and excursions, which includes language, your thematic seminars, and your field methods and ethics course. And then the last 4 weeks or so is when you're focusing on your internship or your research, and then followed by a couple days of presenting your research or internship and debriefing with your group and your cohort and thinking and reflecting on the semester and just kind of preparing for coming back to your studies back here in the United States or wherever you may be going after your experience with SIT. So again, I'm not going to go in depth here, but just showing an example of our semester program. This one is in Iceland, the theme being climate change and the Arctic. And then this is another model I wanted to show you if you're interested in a semester program where you go to multiple countries throughout the semester to experience a more comparative lens of a particular theme that you're studying. So all students first start off in the United States and then go to 3 different countries within the semester, 4 weeks in each location, 4 or 5 weeks, and then sort of having the final experience in that 3rd country and debriefing your semester there. So this is an example of a comparative program where it goes to multiple countries. You'll see in this top right-hand corner that you start off in the US, and then you move to Ecuador, Malawi, and then end the semester in Italy. So shifting gears slightly, now that we're living in a COVID world, living in a pandemic currently, is that we are offering virtual offerings if one doesn't feel comfortable traveling abroad, or if we're not able to run a program in person, or depending on other factors. And so we've found virtual internships to be very successful. And so we have a list here of virtual internships that we're offering for next semester, spring of 2021. Currently, these aren't listed on our website, but they will be shortly. So just a quick overview, knowing that these will be possible if study abroad in person does not happen next semester. Next semester, we also have virtual languages. So as you can see here, we have a wide variety of languages that we offer, and that's because we do tend to go to more non-traditional destinations. And so we offer a lot of unique languages from Nepali to Bahasa Indonesian to Swahili or Vietnamese. And so if any of you are interested in learning a particular language, but in a virtual setting, we will be offering these next semester. In addition to the spring, we will be offering more virtual options for summer of 2021. Again, we'll have a wide range of virtual internships, as you can see listed here. And then we also will have some virtual language options as well for summer 2021. In addition to the virtual offerings for summer 2021, we are offering new in-country programs in addition to our more traditional programs that we've always had. And so these are some of our newer programs that we will be running in summer of 2021, hopefully in country. And again, we are currently working on posting all of this in our website as well. So in terms of the nuts and bolts, SIT does operate on a rolling admissions basis because we do have a cap for all of our programs. In order to keep it really experiential in nature, we do have to limit the number of students on our programs. And so first come, first serve. Every term has an opening application date and a closing application date. But if a program fills sooner than that, then the program does close earlier. So I always recommend early application, the better. But one thing to really keep in mind is that all of you are coming from various UC institutions that have their own policies and deadlines and procedures. And so what's really important here, more than this slide, is that you have a conversation with a study abroad advisor at your study abroad's office, and to really figure out, is it possible, is it feasible to do an SIT program? That's the first important step you do, and that any deadlines and rules at your home institution take precedence over an SIT deadline or requirement or policy. Some of you probably are wondering about scholarships and money. I know that's a big part of the study abroad planning process, and that it's really important to think through before committing to a study abroad program. One thing I do want to mention is that we do offer a lot of scholarships at SIT. All of them are need-based scholarships, though. Currently, we do not offer merit-based, and so just keep that in mind. But we do have quite a few scholarships where we provide students up to about $5,000 for the semester and up to $3,000 for the summer. One that I really like to highlight is our Pell Grant match, which is available to any semester program. Basically, if any of you listening in today have the Pell Grant, we will automatically match that Pell Grant award. And so that's a way for us to allow more diverse students to participate in our programming. And also, the Pell Grant match then allows students to apply for the Gilman Scholarship, which is a federally funded scholarship that is only open to students who have the Pell Grant. So if any of you receive the Pell Grant, you're eligible to get our match, but also I would highly encourage you to apply for the Gilman Scholarship as well. So what the next steps are, I mentioned earlier, is looking through our website, maybe perhaps looking at a few programs and seeing which ones really resonate with your interests and your passions, but more importantly, really talking to your university or college's study abroad office to really see if it is possible to do an SIT program, whether it means you take a leave of absence or you do special paperwork or whatnot. But again, it's really important to touch base with your study abroad office. And then once that's all cleared up and you're clear and you know exactly what your steps are, then applying to SIT study abroad, but also perhaps to your study abroad office as well. And then lastly, obviously, finances is an important piece to the study abroad planning process, and so talking to your financial aid office at your home institution is important, but also talking to our scholarships coordinator at SIT will also be important as well. And then my last slide here is my contact information. If you have any questions about anything I've mentioned today, or if you have more questions or concerns about a particular program, I'm your main point person with SIT, so feel free to jot down my email or my phone number, and I would be happy to answer any of your questions or concerns that you may have. Thank you so much for listening in. I know listening to virtual presentations can be taxing and exhausting, so thank you for taking the time to listening to me, and I hope you stay safe and stay well for the fall semester. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.